Hello everybody, it is the Naughty Degen here, coming at you with another video. So I put out a video not too long ago called Line Goes Up, why NFTs are here to stay, and I went through and went over a lot of anti-NFT arguments and rebutted them. And some people obviously were, a lot of people were happy with my video. I got posted on Reddit and a couple other things, but some people were upset with my video. So, in the spirit of debate, and I'm doing the best I can because it's not a one-on-one discussion, but in the spirit of debate, I'm going to go through and debunk and argue and refute some of the comments that I have gotten. Okay, so starting off, this first one, this guy says baseball cards or Pokemon cards get their worth from historical value in childhood nostalgia. They were made for playing a board game, so many of them were lost or destroyed. That is where the scarcity comes from. NFTs have none of that. I responded, many people lose their wallets, which is akin to or the same to getting your cards destroyed. Historical value and nostalgic value are subjective value, just like NFTs have with their value. So basically my point here is that, playing games, Magic Gathering, whatever, card gets destroyed, increases the scarcity. Same thing with NFTs. Someone loses their wallet, someone forgets their key, whatever, same idea. And as far as the historical value and childhood nostalgia, well, historical value, who's to say that in 10 years, historical value, old NFTs won't be worth more? We've seen that with some of the CryptoPunk NFTs, or some of the older NFTs where people are getting into them and their values subjectively being valued higher because they are older. So historical value could apply to cards and NFTs. As far as childhood nostalgia, all that means is that you played it when you were a kid. So if an NFT game comes out that is geared towards kids, which I'm not saying that will or won't, then that's going to eventually have childhood nostalgia. Now I'm 24. If I was 16 and started playing Gods Unchained, by the time I'm 30, maybe I have some nostalgic value towards Gods Unchained NFTs, right? I didn't start playing when I was 16 because it wasn't out then, but that is the point. So that, I think I tore through that whole argument. Historic value and childhood nostalgia can apply to NFTs. They don't currently because it's a relatively new technology. And the whole, well, they were destroyed, that increases scarcity, that also applies to NFTs. Now, Phil Volker says, respectively, you can't debunk him line by line because his entire piece is solid. That's his opinion? Cool. The environmental piece is not even the core issue. The core issue is that NFTs and crypto are not decentralized. It's a re-centralization built by wealthy manipulators on an MLM hype model. Not saying you won't get lucky, just that it's gambling. Subjective value of art has nothing to do with it when your assignment of value is solely as a money-making vehicle. Well, starting off with this last line, this is just your opinion, Phil Volker. The subjective value of art has nothing to do with it when your assignment of value is solely as a money-making vehicle. Well, who is assigning that value? I don't quite understand that ending. Some people are assigning value as a money-making vehicle. Some people might like the art. Or some people might find the game fun, and that game uses NFTs. And so, in that instance, it's not solely as a money-making vehicle. It's because it's entertainment. It's because they are entertained by this game, and this NFT adds a value in that game. So, that ending argument, not accurate. I'm sorry. It's not accurate. If value is subjective, which it is, that's one of the core economic laws. Look up Austrian subjective value theory. If value is subjective, then some people are going to assign different values for different reasons to different things. And so while to you are assigning value solely as a money-making vehicle, someone else might like the art. Or, maybe there's a musician that someone's a huge fan of, and they release some NFTs, and, this person wants to own it because they love that musician so much. And to me, I don't like that musician. I don't want to hear anything by him. I don't like their music. I'm not going to buy their NFTs. But to someone else who likes that musician, they might buy their NFTs. Value is subjective, Phil. Now, NFTs are crypto and not decentralized. It's re-centralization built by wealthy manipulators. Now, I responded that decentralization comes in many forms. I don't really think he understood this. I'm not sure if he has a technical background or not. Are we talking about nodes, distribution? I have no issues with early adopters getting very wealthy. They took the initial risk. Not sure what you mean by MLL model, because they are only worth what the next guy is willing to pay, question mark? That's the case with literally everything. So starting off with the decentralization, what does he mean by this? Right? There's different aspects of decentralization. Are we talking about distribution? Because that's different. I mean, the Ethereum blockchain, which many NFTs are on, is decentralized. There's not a single point of attack. You can't DDoS one node and take down the whole network. It's not a server. It's a blockchain. It is decentralized because there's people in different parts of the world all contributing to that ledger. So it is decentralized as a blockchain, at least if the NFTs are on Ethereum. If they're on Solana, not so much, but we're not going to get into that. So don't know what he's talking about there. He said that, well, back to the decentralization thing, it's re-centralization built by wealthy manipulators. Well, what's he mean by that? What's he mean by that? Who are these wealthy manipulators? Is there manipulation on NFT price floors? Of course. I don't think you can deny that. If someone goes and buys the entire project, they could have list the price floor at whatever they want. That doesn't mean someone's going to buy it. Someone might buy it. They might be fooled. They might think, oh, this is a real price floor. This is a valuable project. They buy an NFT. One guy owning everything. He just has different wallets. That's possible. Is that the case in every instance? No. MLM model. MLM, I think of Ponzi scheme. What's a Ponzi scheme? It's basically when the only way something goes up in value is, and I've heard this argument a lot against NFTs and crypto, the only way this goes up in value is if the next guy's willing to pay more. Yeah. Yeah. Same thing with gold. Same thing with real estate. Same thing with cars, right? If tomorrow everybody grew wings, the subjective value of cars would drop. So there is no, innate value of anything. It's all situational. And I get that's a little bit of a weird example. Like, someone grew wings, that would never happen. But I'm using this as a thought experiment because a lot of people who don't understand economics or logic and reason, and those are I understand those are kind of buzzwords. Everyone wants to say they're logical. No one's gonna openly say I'm not a logical person. But yeah, I mean, makes no sense. Everything is based on someone else paying a higher price if it goes up. Stocks, no different. Oh, well, stocks have inherent value. No, they don't. Some do. I mean, subjectively, but they don't have an inherent value. How many stocks don't pay dividends? You're hoping that one day that company's profitable. No promises. And so I think I think respectively, or respectfully, I have debunked Phil Volker's arguments, right? This ending there means nothing. Just that's his value. Decentralization thing means nothing. The Ethereum blockchain is decentralized. Distribution could be centralized of an NFT or a crypto or an altcoin, but no one's forcing you to buy it. You're taking your risk. Right? Anything could be centralized. If one person has all the gold, gold's centralized, but that's not the case. And for most NFT projects, that's not the case because, to buy out an entire project, you're going to have hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? If not more. So, yeah, I don't, Phil's not making a good argument here. He said, if you're saying decentralization takes many forms, including re-centralization around different power brokers and different companies, well, what are you saying? Don't tell me. I just don't. Yeah, you don't get it. Respectfully. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by this. Different power broke. Who are different companies? Are you saying, are you making the argument that OpenSea is centralized? Because yeah, OpenSea is a centralized company. But you don't have to use them. You don't have to use OpenSea to sell your NFT. There's other competitors, right? Maybe someone makes a decentralized exchange. Very possible. There's already decentralized exchanges for altcoins. Why can't there be one for NFTs? There certainly could. So, I'm not sure what you mean there. Drew Skywalker says, so what about young people? Genuine question, because it seems like future generations are screwed if this catches on more than it already has. You say you don't care about early adopters getting money, but you're ignoring the fact if this becomes the norm, future generations are relegated to a new form of serfdom. Oh, and NFTs will never catch on in games. If you genuinely think that, you can just take assets from one game engine and move it over to another, or that you, the consumer, will see jack squat. I want whatever you're smoking, all right? Got a little bit snarky at the end there with me, but it's fine. So where do we start with this one? Well, again, a lot of these arguments, I don't know what they mean, right? Future new form of serfdom, dude. If you can't afford a NFT, you can't afford an NFT. Not the end of the world. I can't afford a Bored Ape. I can't afford one. There's NFTs I can't afford. I don't know what you mean by that, dude. Like, some people can't afford stock in Amazon, or but they can afford stock in a different company. I mean, what do you mean by this? Some people can't afford gold, but they can afford silver. Means, there you go. NFTs will never catch on in games. They already are, so you're wrong there. You can't just take assets from one game engine and move it over. You can, but you do have to add functionality. So there's my argument against him. Phil Volker says, okay, first let's establish that I don't know what I'm talking about. That said, what you're describing is not a consistent, reliable form of currency. It's more like an MLM where everything hinges on more money coming in. No! NFTs could go down. I'm not saying that they have to go up. There could, just like there's bear markets and stock markets, there could be bear markets, and there are in crypto and NFTs. So he says, everything hinges on more money coming in. No, it doesn't, because things don't go up consistently, linearly. Things will go up, they'll come down, go up again, come down. Some will never come back up, and some will surprise you and go to the moon. We don't know. Same thing with the stock market. There's stocks that come down and go up and come down and go up, and some come down and never go back up, and some surprise you and explode. So, again, yes, if you're using, and if I was making the argument that things are just going to go up forever and there'll be no downturns, then yeah, everything hinges on more money coming in. That's not the argument I'm making. So you're, in a way, attacking a straw man. All right, so don't know what you're saying. Drew Skywalker says, you avoided my point. What about people who aren't 18? I basically just went through this, so I'm not going to respond to that. His argument is that early adopters become rich, and yes, they do. It's a case for everything. Fart, nice name, says, you don't even think MLMs are bad. That's not what I said. I said define an MLM. Andrew Ritz, I think your strongest argument arguments have to do with people being able to buy, sell digital goods and games, and maybe even be able to sell their copies of digital games secondhand. However, there's no reason that a developer would need to use NFTs crypto to provide this. No, they don't. They don't have to, but here's the problem. If they don't, and it's on a centralized server, if that game company goes under, and they would shut down their servers. Or if they, decide to shut down their servers manually, issues would present. By having NFTs, you are effectively using the Ethereum blockchain as a database instead, and that's not going away. So, yes, there is, that is the use case for the NFTs. You could come up with a more cost-effective solution, Well, I mean, with things like Immutable X, cost effectiveness isn't an issue. It's pretty cheap to mint NFTs on certain L2s, all right? Now, Hasselhat says, I think everyone is motivated by greed is a very poor argument against NFTs are about greed because while self-preservation is a human instinct, everyone has a threshold where they put others over themselves. Certainly true. Some people are okay with robbery. They need to, yep, absolutely. Conscious risk assessment. NFTs are about greed because the people willing to pursue them are doing it at the expense of others' work and money in the planet's overall health. No, not the planet's overall health. Absolutely not true. Greed motivates people to innovate, right? I'm not making the argument that, you know, I like greed and that I want to see poor people starve and someone just sit up there with a cigar and a top hat on their piles of money. That's not the argument I'm making. The argument I'm making is that everyone is motivated at some level by self-interest, and the argument that NFTs are about greed is not a good argument. What do you mean they're about greed? Because some people want to speculate on them? Yeah. People do the same thing with stocks. People do the same thing with art, with trading cards, with anything. People speculate. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know. Phil Volker says, did you just use Gordon Greco's greed is good argument? That's pretty much seals the deal. That's not an argument, Phil. It's not a rebuttal. Again, greed is good, greed is bad. It means nothing. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Greed is just, look, people are going to speculate on assets, on art. People speculate on cars. People buy cars and they think they could flip them. Maybe they have mechanical knowledge, maybe they don't. But even some who don't, they'll buy cars used and they, oh, I think this will go up, and they'll flip them. But you don't hear anyone, you know, going after those people. Oh, that's greed. You're car flipping. That's greed. It's like, no, that person is an entrepreneur, much like some of the NFT investors and traders. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. This person says it's kind of sad, to be honest, that you ignore current problems, just look into the future where the shaky foundation maybe results in the better economic system. Also, I am not motivated by greed, and many people are not too. I said, yes, you are. Absolutely, everyone has some level of greed. Maybe we don't want to call it greed. Maybe greed's the wrong word, but self-interest, right? If you didn't, you wouldn't work a job. Oh, well, you need food to survive. You need things to survive. Why? That's greedy. Why not just live in the forest, right? I understand we're getting a little bit into thought experiment land, but my point is just, I hate anything, even like political stuff. I hate the argument that you could just put the label greed on something. Well, this is happening because greed. It's like, it's such lazy thinking. And like I said, look, debunk me. I mean, look, debunk me. You didn't come after car flippers. You didn't come after people speculating on fine art at auctions, right? With the guy going, how, you know, the guy like shouting and everyone puts up their bids. No one has an issue with that. But why NFTs? Because they're digital? That's my point here, guys. People don't keep that same energy, right? They want to come after NFTs because things are getting really speculative and there's so much valuation and no one knows what this is going to be worth, but they don't come after fine art collectors who are effectively doing the same thing. They're buying art, and some are buying it because they like the art. Some are buying it because they want to flip the art. No one made a video, line go up, the problem with fine art. So look, follow up. Any more comments? I will go through them all. Every single one. I love debate. Every single one, comment. I'll go through them. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share it. I'll catch you next time. Have a great day.